Well, I've got 5.
All right, which ones are you doing?
Fable 4, Grand
Okay.
Theft Auto 6, The Elder Scrolls 6, The
Uh-huh.
Witcher 4, and Star Citizen.
Oh, you're talking about Star Citizen?
I am. Only because we are supposed to be getting Squadron 42 this year.
Yeah, but Star Citizen is just a big storefront.
Hello, and welcome to our recurring 5-episode special, Loading the Catapult.
Yeah, that's right. Trevor and I have been keeping our ears to the ground, and every 5 episodes, we're going to talk about some games that we've been looking at and are eager to try.
Now, this isn't going to be our usual review format, as these games are either not released yet or still in early access. But we're excited about them, either from a concept or gameplay perspective, or the fact that they're pushing a new tech or a studio formed from an existing studio we already like.
So we're going to grab a few of these titles, we're going to quickly talk about them, maybe 10 minutes a title, and we're going to go from there. And without further ado, Trevor, what are your titles for this episode?
Well, I've got a couple different titles I'd like to look at. Looking into the 2025 lens, we've got Fable 4.
Ooh.
Maybe Grand Theft Auto 6.
Ooh.
The Elder Scrolls 6 potentially, although I don't know, that might miss 2025, but I'd love to talk about it.
If we get a 27, I'll be amazed.
I'd love to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then The Witcher 4, although I may not talk about The Witcher 4, we'll see how that goes. And then I do want to talk about Star Citizen, the controversial storefront.
Yay, storefront citizen.
And what about yours?
Well, we're going to be looking at Judas, the latest release title from Ken Levine, one of the sort of greats for narrative immersive gameplay. We're going to be looking at Civ 7, Civilization, of course, being the heavyweight 4X game, you know? There's also a Sakaiden 1 and 2 HD remaster that I am just so excited for. It's been a long time since we've had Sakaiden in our world. And then I'm going to be looking at Atomfall, which is kind of a new title coming out of a UK-based. And it's got some Stalker similarities in that it's set around a nuclear disaster, but this one was the Windshare, I believe is the area.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right. The Windscale nuclear disaster. Of course, they're looking at what would happen if it had gone all the way bad. And then I'm also going to touch on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, the sequel to the original Kingdom Come Deliverance, the blacksmith simulator.
I love it.
All right.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
I'm excited for it.
Cool. Well, why don't we flip a coin, or in this case, we'll roll a d20. Do you want odds or evens?
Let's play high.
Let's play high, okay.
I got a 15.
I got an 8, so you, my friend, are going first.
Very exciting day for me.
Oh, very exciting day for you.
So, we'll start things off with Civilization 7, I think. So, for those of you who are just kind of new to the sphere, Civilization is probably the grandfather of the 4X turn-based strategies. Every 4X strategy out there right now is trying to do something that Civilization has done. They're trying to do it better, or they're trying to do it differently, and that is all really good, important points to make, but Civilization is sort of the bar, the blueprint. This is what has been done, and can I build on that? Can I do it differently? Whatever. It's like how you're always comparing yourself to your father.
You know what book I just bought?
What book did you
Sid Meier's biography.
Oh my god!
Because he's the maker of Civilization.
He is
right?
The original. Yes,
yeah.
That's why it says Sid Meier Civilization 7 is the full title.
So yeah, I bought Sid Meier's biography.
Very cool.
Autobiography, I believe. He's about 70 now, and I want to send some love out to Sid Meier. I love his work.
A lot of my like late high school, early university days were spent in front of Civ. So like, yeah.
Railroad Tycoon, Roller Coaster Tycoon, XCOM, Civilization, Pirates. Sid Meier's Pirates.
Man, I played it on the Xbox. The re-release on the Xbox.
I played it on the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah, OG. Yeah. So Sid Meier is like, he's the king. Man.
He's a name.
He's the OG.
He's a name.
My buddy actually had the Civilization board game.
No way.
And the sheer amount of pieces for this game and setup for this game, he had like a closet full of plastic containers full of
I believe
stuff.
it. Yeah. You would need a lot.
Insane. Yeah.
So, like I said, it's a 4X game, which is expand, explore, exploit and conquer or something.
Mm-hmm.
Exterminate. There we go.
Exterminate.
So civilization, very simple concept. You are the leader of a human civilization, and you're taking them from the Stone Age to the Space Age. Off you go. You get different units, different sort of technologies that you research. The other AI players are trying to do the same thing, and you can go peaceful, military, cultural. So Civilization 7's each civilization tries to do a sort of a new iteration, and I didn't particularly like 6. I didn't even really like 4.
Yeah, Civ 3 was kind of the last.
Or sorry, 5.
Civ 3 and Civ 4 were the last times I actually enjoyed Civ.
Yeah, Civ 3 is like my goat.
Yeah, Civ 5, and then I didn't bother with 6 because I feel like
they weren't.
It's the same game.
Yeah,
Aaron.
they weren't trying something
It's
new.
The same game.
So Civilization 7, from what I understand, is they're trying to really revamp the military aspect and make that much more, I guess, in depth and involved. Because before, like Civ 3, I remember getting my butt kicked because my buddy had optimized making spearmen.
Oh yeah,
right, and he would just swarm me with spearmen because you can make a spearman in 2 turns.
I'm more of a Navy guy. I build a lot of seamen.
Yeah. So yeah, Civilization 7. It's coming out fairly soon, February 11th.
Yes, and by the way, the Founders Edition is a digital-only pre-order, only available for pre-order until February 28th. And on their website, it says, get it now before it's history. And if you're a big Civ fan, you're probably going to do it.
Yeah, that's true enough.
Yeah.
But I have issues with, like, limited editions for digital only. Like, who are you trying to get here?
Yeah, well, especially because it's digital only, and then you're buying it through a digital storefront that you don't actually own the game. And if that storefront goes out of business, you lose everything, all your games, even your pre-order. Although if you're buying it direct from 2K.com,
well, the 2K launcher is so problematic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's Civilization 7. There's not a lot of information about what they're doing that's going to be different beyond their they're doing a little bit better in terms of sort of being more historically accurate. For example, the Shawnee are being represented here.
Oh.
And they actually went ahead and they worked with the Shawnee tribe to create a more accurate depiction of Tecumseh, who is a very famous Shawnee leader.
Cool.
And then of course they're keeping Babu Yetu in there. Or rather they went with Christopher Tin, who wrote Babu Yetu, which is like the song for Civ, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's one of the games I'm excited about. I'm especially excited about their take on combat. Because again, with Civilization, I found that combat was the most lacking.
See, I'm on the side of the fence of, as much as I love Sid Meier, and as much as I've played.
Well, Sid Meier isn't really involved in the day-to-day anymore.
No, he's retired. But I've played literally thousands of hours of Civ over the years since Civ 1.
Yeah.
Civ 2 especially.
Civ 2 got a lot of time.
And then probably Civ 3 has my most playtime. But I'm kind of like Civ'd out, man. Like
You're Civ'd out!
Yeah, like I bought Civ 4 and I was like, okay, like the graphics are better and it looks cool. And then Civ 5 came out and I was like, but it's just Civ 4 with more skin.
Yeah.
And they changed a couple of things. I probably own Civ 5.
Oh
my god, I actually own Civ 6 too. I'm such a hypocrite.
You own Civ 6? Oh.
I own Civ 6. Guess how many hours I've played it?
12?
0.
Woof.
It's one of those stupid things that was probably on sale.
And you're like, I'll check it out.
I bought it and I probably immediately regretted it. Civ 5, I've got 52 hours.
I have Civ 6, and I have played 18.8 hours.
And I've only played 36 hours of Civ 4. So yeah, like...
Civ 5, I've played 111 hours.
I have 52 for me.
And then I was one of those silly persons who bought Civ Beyond Earth.
Oh, yes.
Which is...
I thought about it.
In all honesty, it's a mod pack of Civ 5.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
It had no business being sold.
The thing that got me is I bought Civ 4, Then I bought all the DLC and the expansions and all the stuff. And The Sims to me, man. You know, like when I bought The Sims 2, The Sims 2, I bought every DLC for The Sims 2. And I bought them jewel case CDs.
Yo ho.
Yo ho. Right?
Anyway.
But yar, a pirate's life for me. Sid
No, we
Meier's
can't
Pirates.
actually say it out loud.
No, Sid Meier's Pirates. That's where
Sid Meier's Pirates.
totally-
Right, yeah,
totally-
that's what we were talking
totally
about.
in context.
Sid Meier's Pirates.
But
Good game.
no, so yeah, you know, after buying all the expansions and then Civ 5 comes out and it's got less content because
Yeah.
it doesn't have the expansions, the DLC. I felt the same with The Sims. Sims 3 came out and I was like, oh, this is less game than what I had with Sims 2.
Yep.
So what's the point?
And then by the time all that content's come out, you're sitting there going, is it worth the $150, $200 price tag now?
yeah, so I'm a big Civ skeptic, you know?
I appreciate where you're coming from. I remember going to a game cafe with my buddy,
Mm-hmm.
and we would sit there and play hours of Civ 3, and we would get so many jokes, so much joy out of it. Like,
Yeah.
one of the technologies is called horse riding, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. But in Civ 3, you could be taught random technologies from villages that you would explore. And one of the villages taught my friend horse riding.
Oh, cool.
Right? And
yeah.
we're sitting there laughing about it because he goes, yeah, I found this village. And they said, yeah, here's how you ride a horse. You just get on. You just,
Yeah.
just jump on.
You just get on.
You just jump on. And we had such a blast with that. And it was just, I'm always chasing that high with Civilization. I want to recapture that moment.
Yeah, I remember one of the technologies to unlock is animal husbandry.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember, it might have been Civ 1 or Civ 2, when I first unlocked animal husbandry, and I was like, I'd never heard of that term before. And I was like, I knew the term husband.
Yeah.
So I was like, what in the furry is going on here? Animal husbandry? My God. But now I just understand it's about domestication of animals.
Yeah,
That's basically it.
Yeah.
But
old English husbandry is also stewardship, right?
yeah. So it's very interesting, these terminologies that when you're a kid, you're kind of like, wait a minute, what? I'm so confused. So yeah, Civilization 7, yeah, I'm happy that you're excited for it. If you buy it, maybe you'll show it to me and maybe
absolutely.
If you put in more than 50 hours, Aaron, I will buy it and play around with you.
Ooh. Well,
That's a promise.
Now it's on me.
That's a promise.
No, and it's on you, Fire Axe.
We'll grab a couple of our Discordians and we'll get them to play.
If you can get me to play, what was it, 20 hours?
50 hours.
50. Okay, if you
50
can get me
hours.
to 50 hours, then you've made 2 sales.
Yes.
Think on that one.
Think on that.
So that is Civilization. That's the one I'm looking at. Did you want to go, or shall I run through my entire list?
Let's alternate.
Let's alternate. Your turn.
So Fable 4
Fable
is in
4.
development. It is expected to be released this year. Earlier this year, actually, I believe. It is a Microsoft property, which is kind of a bummer.
Lionhead Studios still, or?
No, it's Microsoft Game Studios now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, technically, the developers Playground Games, who made Forza Horizon, and
Forza.
Yeah, Forza.
All right. Hey,
Yeah.
I and it's actually on the Forza Tech engine. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean,
all right. Hey.
so the game looks good, right? I mean, the
It's gotta, right?
trailers look good. They're very comedic. One of the things I love most, so Fable 4 is essentially like an RPG.
Yeah.
And it's an RPG. Fable 3, I'll speak to because I played that ad nauseum.
I like Fable 3.
Fable is kind of this open world RPG. It's not really super open, but
I was about to say
it's kind of on rails a little bit, but it
Yeah.
feels open.
Yeah.
Where every choice you make, you started out as a kid, and as you get older and you age, your weapons kind of change with you as you make good decisions or bad decisions. Your weapons can become like their skin changes; they become more evil or more good, and so do you. And the idea in the game is you're the hero. And you can usually do a character creator to some extent. You create like a hero that represents you. And the whole idea with Fable was always the hero represents you. You are the hero. So you make a masculine or feminine character, etc., etc. And you go through the game making all of these different choices and helping people or not helping people, killing people, not killing people. And that really builds this story of who you are as a hero. And you get a treasure room and a loot room. Usually.
Your sanctuary.
Fill it with gold in your sanctuary. It was your butler was voiced by John Cleese in Fable 3.
Yes, he was.
Which
hilarious.
was phenomenal because he's funny as heck.
Yeah.
No, he's not. Yes, he is. So, yeah, Fable has this long tradition of creating a very interesting, very deep world, great artwork, great storytelling, and a lot of humor. I mean, there's a part in Fable 3 where you're going to find all these hidden gnomes, and they like throw insults at you. They're like evil gnomes, and one of them will go something along the lines of, "You're pretty funny. It's too bad looks aren't everything."
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That was what, Fable 1?
Fable 3.
That was Fable 3.
Fable 3. Yeah, and so and things like the dogs licking their butt, and they're like something about something about licking your butt, and they insinuate that you're the one licking your butt. It's just kind of funny little humor that kids would laugh at, right?
It's very early, like the British humor. Like I remember the gnomes.
Oh yeah, and looking at the trailer, there's like this. The very first shot of the trailer is like a little fairy sniffing a flying and sniffing a flower, and then a toad like eats the fairy and dies, and you're like, oh my god. And so we can expect a lot of humor from Fable 4. There's swords, there's magic, there's all these other things in the world of Albion, and so yeah, it's gonna be really cool. There's heroes, villains, very fantasy realm. You need to kind of.
Do we have a storyline yet, or are we still?
I haven't seen anything yet. So all I know is that there's some very basic information in some of the trailers. Basically like a teaser. The first full Fable trailer didn't come out till the Xbox Game Showcase in 2023.
Well, they got Eidos Montreal to support.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, basically you're going to basically be full of British humor. You're going to have a really great time. If you love Monty Python, this is going to be Python-esque. I wouldn't be surprised if they got John Cleese in there to voice something.
I've always, for Fable, for me, I was always more of it reminded me more of Terry Pratchett and Discworld, that humor.
Yeah. And so I mean, unless you want to be called a bloody wanker,
a bloody wanker,
you better get some Fable 4.
Let's get some Fable 4.
Fable 4 is certainly a game I'm going to buy and play. I'm really excited for it. I used to play Fable 2, I think, on the Xbox, and I didn't own it. I didn't have an Xbox, so I only got to play it a little while. But when Fable 3 came out, I was so excited, and I've done 2 full playthroughs, and I would play through it again. And Fable 4 is one of those ones I really hope is a Catapult, Aaron. I really hope it's good.
Yeah, I want it to be good for you.
I'm going to waste my money on it.
Because what was the one that came out after Fable 3, like Fable The Journey?
Yeah.
And
yeah, that was rough.
I think the problem was it was trying too hard to use the Kinect,
Yeah.
and it let the gimmick try to take the place of the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I love comedy. I love British comedy, and I love the Fable franchise. I think that I hope they do it well. So what's your next game?
My next game is going to be a remaster. It's going to be the Sakaiden 1 and 2 are getting an HD remaster, similar to how they did the pixel remasters and the HD remasters of the Phantasy Star, the Star Ocean series and the Final Fantasy series. And Sakaiden was always really interesting to me for quite a few reasons. First, of course, being that it was just the cast of thousands. Because with Sakaiden, it's not just your 1 or 2 characters or your party of 5. Sakaiden, you could recruit and use up to I want to say 356, something like that. 108 stars.
Nice.
And you could use them all, and they would work with you, not just within your party, but they could also be bench characters, and they would provide bonuses and skills to you. And they would run your towns and open up stores and things like that. So it became this really cool sort of you're recruiting people not just to party with you, but to build with you. And it was my first experience with that. That and Breath of Fire 3.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Breath of Fire 3 was great.
Breath of Fire 3 was
Yeah, I mean that's like legendary.
So we're getting Sakaiden 1 and 2 remasters. And there are going to be I believe it's going to be released on all platforms because nowadays you have to the age of console exclusivity is over. So yeah, this is going to be on the Switch, both PlayStations, so 5 and 4, the Xbox X and One, and Steam.
Nice.
And it's going to be like Sakaiden isn't a new game. Like it's not new, but they're going to be adding a bunch of events. They're going to be adding a war event, which are special battles with massive sort of units attacking. They're going to have duels. Of course, they're going to be adding an auto battle feature, a better UI, better sound. But all in all, it's just the same game, but being repackaged for a new generation. And I really think that's important, not because I believe the old stuff was better, but because I believe firmly that to really appreciate and grow, we all need to look back at what was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say that Sakaiden will never be beaten. Sakaiden, of course, will be beaten. But how can you beat Sakaiden if you don't know what Sakaiden is, right?
Yeah.
If you go out there and you make a game, you're like, oh, I want 300 party members. I want to do all of this cool stuff. And someone will sit there and look at you and be like, you just made Sakaiden again.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then you'll have to be like, oh, shit. Whereas if you go in knowing, I want to do something that Sakaiden did, but I want to do it better.
I like it.
So that's why I'm really excited about this. And I'm very excited to introduce this to a new generation. And I can't wait for people to play it for the first time. And bring us Sakaiden 4, you cowards. Yeah, so that's on my Catapult. It's a little bit of a shorter talk, because it's really just, it's a Konami release. Well,
I've never played Sakaiden.
Oh.
Although, like JRPGs, I got into like Final Fantasy. That was the big, and Chrono Trigger, right?
Because with Final Fantasy, there's the ones that are more like traditional JRPG and the ones that are taking more Western influence. And I think with 6 especially, it started to become more of not a Western RPG per se, but it started to streamline what the JRPGs had been up until that point.
I mean, they made an Americanized version of Final Fantasy called Mystic Quest.
Yes.
And it is very hated. But you know what? As a kid, maybe I was just the right age when I played it.
Fair.
But I super enjoyed Mystic Quest.
As a kid, yeah. Because it was very Zelda-ish.
It was very Zelda-ish, and it had a lot of little like puzzles, like the grappling hook in the forest. You needed to figure your way around the maze. And I super enjoyed it. But I was probably like, I don't know, I was probably like 11 or 12 when I played it. So I was like the right age for the audience for that, whereas I think the older gamer generations would have been like, this game's stupid,
And what's always interesting to me is back in the days, and again, this isn't the old days were better, it was cheaper to make a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could take risks. And even if you just broke even, whatever.
Is this more like Romance of the Kingdoms or whatever?
There's some similarities to Romance of the Kingdoms. But if I had to put a name on it, I would say it's closer to, well, no, it's an RPG per se, like full on, like you're fighting with your party.
Okay.
Oh, did you ever play Final Fantasy Tactics?
I did play Tactics.
Okay,
yes.
It's Tactics but real time.
Oh, okay.
So that same idea, you have all these people in your party or in your army. Yeah, there you go.
I wasn't a fan of Tactics.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. Like it was okay, but I don't know. Final Fantasy VI was like the penultimate Final Fantasy for me. Like it was great. Yeah. I enjoyed 7. I thought 7 looked great. And 8 and 9 and 10 were all good. Any Final Fantasies look good, but 6 just did it for me. The story, the characters. I want a fully 3D done remaster of 6. I want a fully voiced, I want 6 to just get the full treatment. I know it got remastered-ish.
Yeah, I got the pixel remaster.
But I want it to be like, I want to see that story. I would watch that movie.
You want the whole thing?
I would watch that trilogy, But anyway, I digress.
You want the FF7 rebirth.
Exactly. Yeah, so Suikoden, I'll check it out. It looks
I'm
fun.
putting it in the Catapult. I encourage everybody to at least look at it, just because, again, this was from a very formative era of JRPGs. Like, this was, I want to say, the SNES or
this would
the
have been
PS1.
This would have probably been PS1.
And like, so many things were just starting to become in this era. And this would directly lead to the PS2, which was probably the best era, bar none, for RPG games.
Yeah, I like that. Well, and I've actually been playing with my controller more. So yeah, I'm going to boot up my Final Fantasy VI Remaster and do a playthrough on my with my Switch controller, because I finally did it.
What I like about a controller, and I'm gonna physically demonstrate for Trevor, but no one else will be able to see it, is
just to lean in. You get to just lean back and just play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to remaster my basement because I want to set it up so that we can do video podcasts.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
So we can be more kind of facing each other, or maybe we move the recording gear to a separate table or something.
Last year, sorry, this is just an aside, making the sausage moment, but last year was so exciting for Trevor and I, because we started this project and we started putting the work in, and we realized where we could succeed and where we couldn't.
Yeah.
Or sorry, I shouldn't say couldn't. Where we had work to do.
Yeah.
So this year, I think, is going to be really exciting for us.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff I want to do.
But we're a team, so you need help, you call.
Oh, you know I will. You know I will. I'm gonna steal so much of your time this year.
Let's do it. All right, so that's Suikoden 2.
Speaking of stealing things, Grand Theft Auto 6. So I want to go back and I want to say, like, I've played every single Grand Theft Auto that's existed.
Yeah, I've played since the top-down days.
I loved Grand Theft Auto for the jogger group that you could run over, and you get like a bonus for if you run the whole group over in one swing.
Was that Grand Theft Auto, or was that Saints Row?
No, that was Grand Theft. That was Grand Theft Auto. It was top down Grand Theft Auto.
Back
before it was 3D.
Yeah, the original.
And one of the things I always loved about Grand Theft Auto was just running amok. You know, just causing nothing but
being a right
bugger, you know? And so Grand Theft Auto 6, I mean, there have been so many jokes about, you know, hey, we got, you know, a mission to Mars before we got Grand Theft Auto 6 and stuff like that. And Grand Theft Auto 6 is supposedly coming out in 2025.
Yeah, that teaser trailer broke the internet for a whole day.
Yeah, although they just recently talked about maybe more delays, so maybe mid to late 2025.
I believe our boy from Nintendo said it best: a delayed game is eventually released. A bad game is bad forever.
I'm going to hot take this for a minute, but I really want Rockstar Games to do a fantasy style game.
Oh.
I want like Grand Theft Auto, but
I don't know if that's a hot take.
Medieval. I want medieval Grand Theft Auto.
So did you ever play the Thief franchise?
I did, and I loved it.
So maybe we take the Thief franchise and we add that sort of shenanigans that Grand Theft Auto is known for.
Yeah, like I think that, you know...
Hijack a horse. Oh, now we just have Assassin's Creed.
Right.
Dang it.
No, I just think Grand Theft Auto, the engine is so good and the environments are so beautiful.
Right? Like,
and they're so well crafted that I'm like, give me like a medieval city where I have to rise from being a beggar on the street,
the peasantry to the burghers,
becoming the king.
Yeah.
And I have to like steal and grift and manipulate and kill my way up there and like bribe bishops and like,
oh man, yeah,
dude,
it's all there.
It's all there.
It's all there.
But that's not what we're getting for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Ooh, you could do the because there was an era in time in the papacy.
Yeah,
those are the folks, the popes, where it was just rife with corruption. You could be one of the families, like the Borgas.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 6 is supposed to be set in its Miami-inspired Vice City again, in that area.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited to go back to Vice City. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I think it could be cool. Now this includes Vice City, so I don't know if it's going to be necessarily in Vice City or around Vice City, or I'm not sure because I mean there's only so much information available on it so far. but you follow a criminal duo, Lucia, the series' first female protagonist since 2000, and her male partner. So, yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for this game for forever. Now, I gotta admit, Grand Theft Auto 4, I only played for 28 hours. Grand Theft Auto 5, I only played for 13 hours. Grand Theft Auto 4, I was having a great time right up until the remote control plane mission.
I vaguely remember that.
Could not do it. Could not do it. Tried for hours. Finally gave up. Never went back to the game. That's more of a me problem. But
skill issue.
But I super enjoyed the storylines. I enjoyed having, like, in Grand Theft Auto 5, right? You have, like, your base, and you can set up, like, your little garages and park your cars. I'm all about the car theft. I mean, that's kind of the name of the game, Grand Theft Auto, right?
It's right there in the name, yeah.
So I love stealing, like, the really cool cars and putting them in my garage and having them. Now, I never played Grand Theft Auto Online. I'm not an online Grand Theft Auto player.
The online community is really interesting in terms of, like, the roleplay servers. They do some really like, they get into it.
That's something I might be into, should I come across a whole bunch of free time.
Yeah.
But Grand Theft Auto has always been a fan favorite of mine. I will likely buy Grand Theft Auto 6, and I really want to actually give it a good, solid attempt at getting through the story and actually beating the game. Because I've kind of given up. Grand Theft Auto 3 was the last game I actually played through and finished. Grand Theft Auto 4 I didn't finish. 5 I didn't finish. I just kind of get to a point where I'm like, I want to come home from work, steal some cars, and run over some people. And it just kind of is like this weird, like, way to decompress. And I think one of the reasons I haven't played Grand Theft Auto for a long time is because I actually like my job. And so it's more of like a I hate my job kind of game. So anyway, Grand Theft Auto 6, we're expecting great things. I'm kind of bored of Grand Theft Auto, I'm going to admit, but I wanted to add it to this list because there's so much hype around it. I think that the earlier generation of players, if you're a newer gamer, you are going to want to play Grand Theft Auto. If you have never played in the Grand Theft Auto franchise and you're just getting into gaming or PC gaming, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be like the place to start. Don't go start on 5 and 4. Start at 6.
Yeah.
Have some fun and enjoy it.
Well, and that's just the thing. The Grand Theft Auto universe is loosely, and I mean loosely, connected to one another.
Yeah.
So you can play any of them and not have any real knowledge of the ones before or even after.
Yeah. So the whole idea of Grand Theft Auto 6 is you start as a small-time criminal, you work your way up through criminal organizations, you get more money, more power, more wealth, more influence, until you basically become the king crime boss.
Yeah.
And so it is a fun game. It is the same formula, unfortunately, that they've been running since Grand Theft Auto 3, because 1 and 2 were kind of just top-down, just chaotic, run stuff over and shoot stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas 3 really hashed out the mission systems and the actual having a point and a story to the game. 4 was crazy good. If you do want to go back and play some, I would recommend 4 over 5, honestly. I really enjoyed 4. And yeah, so if you're into being a crime lord, Aaron, we used to play on the TI-86 calculator. We used to play Drug Wars, right?
Yes. Oh my god.
It's basically all text based, but
yeah.
There's like a little bit of interaction with it, but not much. But you could load it up on basically your engineering calculator.
Yeah,
scientific calculator.
And away you went, yeah.
And you would rise the ranks and do drug deals and try to sell drugs and make drugs and all these other things. And this episode's not getting monetized because of drugs. We don't monetize any of our episodes.
There were so many, like, I don't know about you, but one guy in my school took the game and, like, re-edited it, so it was your school.
Oh, nice.
And instead of drugs, it was like, my school had these, you got points that you could use for, because it was an independent self-directed learning program at the beginning of the year. To determine if you could stay in the program, you had to get enough points.
Okay.
And those were done by completing schoolwork, right? So it was set there. So you were trying to get all these points, and you could trade points. It was a thing.
It's so PG-13. I love it.
It kind of was. You were beating up the janitors with, like, your lanyards.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, if you grew up in the era of drug wars on the in scientific calculators,
Oh yeah.
to entertain yourself through high school, you definitely were a Grand Theft Auto gamer at some
You
point.
played Grand
more
Theft
than
Auto.
likely, more than
Yeah.
likely. So yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out. I'm excited for it. Like I said, I want to really give it a solid playthrough. I love what Rockstar Games is doing, and Rockstar, please give me medieval Grand Theft Auto, like Grand Theft Chariot or something.
I want it.
I want it.
I want it so bad.
All right, so that's it for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Alright.
There's not much else to say. I mean, it's coming out. We're gonna have to see what we get. I mean, we don't really know until it drops.
Yeah.
There's very few leaks. So what about what's your next game, my friend?
So this is the last of my I'm excited about them, but the two that I'm super excited for are coming up. So this one we're gonna get out of the way. It's Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is gonna be the sequel to the original Kingdom Come Deliverance, set in, I want to say, Bohemia, which is in the Czech Kingdom nowadays. So if the Czech Republic, I think, is the current sort of world lock-in. So this is the 15th century Bohemia. You play a young man who engaged in the rebellion and fought its way up. And now you're in the sequel, which is great because in the original it ended on very much an open, like, oh, me and Tomas are going out to seek adventure, and off he went into the sunset. So I'm very excited about Deliverance 2, mostly because it's going to introduce a lot of cool life simulation things. So like food, sleep. Like if you ever played New Vegas,
Yeah,
you know how you had to eat and drink and sleep?
yeah,
That was so cool to me.
yeah.
And this is going to be major as well. They're going to try to introduce like life influence. So what you do affects the world around you.
Very nice.
Yeah, right.
Very
I'm
nice.
kind of excited.
It looks a lot like The Witcher 3
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and like your Skyrims of the world and stuff like that.
but Warhorse Studios is based in in Prague, right? So like they would take major influence from CD Projekt Red,
Mhm.
just because that's another studio in the region, right?
Well, I like this. I bought Kingdom Come Deliverance on a sale. I haven't played it yet.
Oh, you should. Deliverance is really good.
But yeah, this looks cool, man. What are they? They're talking about. Looks like it. Again, they don't have a ton of information on their.
Yeah, well, this is all
pages
occurring
here.
during what's called the Hussite War. Sometimes people call it the Bohemian or the Hussite Revolution.
Hmm.
So this was all up against the Holy Roman Emperor Sigismund, and the Catholic Church.
Hmm. And so it looks like they're releasing it in a couple different editions: Standard Edition, Gold Edition, and then the Expansion Pass. And it looks like they are already planning 3 expansion packs for it. I kind of hate how games do this now.
Yeah, for me, like the planned expansion packs tells me that you already had all the storyline.
Yeah, you have the base.
And what bothers me about that isn't the expansion pack itself. It's the business choice not to release a full game.
Right.
All right. So, like, if you made a game and people really loved it, and the interest was there, and then you release an expansion, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the current world where you buy your season pass or your perpetual edition, where like you bought it and you have access to all the expansions that come out. I understand, I accept, I don't like.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean that aside, it looks phenomenal. They're kind of insinuating that there's like crafting. It kind of looks like
because you're a blacksmith, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you craft your own weaponry, your own armor, your own items.
I'm down for that.
It's really like you should play Deliverance. Like if you haven't, it's really good.
You know what? I'll add that to my plan of things that I need to get around to.
You could probably beat it in about, I don't know, 45 hours.
That's not bad. I mean, yeah. So I mean, open world RPG. The original Deliverance had, massive open world.
People loved the original one, bar a few issues. Like original release, I think was a little buggy.
Yeah.
And then the fact that there's no fast travel bothered a lot of people.
Fair enough.
But I think they added fast travel, so it's not even a thing anymore. But yeah, no, I'm very excited about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It's taking what happened with Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's going to the the eventual conclusion of it. Unfortunately, because this is a actual historical game based on a very historical
Time period.
Yeah. It's going to end in a very specific way. But
off with your head.
But it's going to be interesting to see, especially because this war specifically, the Hussite Wars, was one of the first introductions of firearms.
Okay.
Hand cannon and wagon fort.
Very cool. Well, it looks amazing. I'm just going through some preview video here, and it looks great.
It looks really great. I'm very excited about it. Yeah.
Staggering cool. Enemies and the combat reminds me of Thief, to be honest.
Which one?
If you really go back, like just the first, because it's very first person. It's very like this scene right here. These little fighting.
Oh
scenes
yeah. Like
really remind me of
Thief,
like
yeah,
where
Thief
it's like
2.
You're staggering Thief 2, yeah, where you're really staggering them and fighting them in groups, and it's kind of looks like, I mean, it looks clunky when you're looking at it in the videos, but gameplay is actually quite fun when they do that. So yeah, that's exciting, man. Open world RPG, medieval, may contain some mature content, so it is MA17.
Yes, there are ladies of negotiable virtue.
Yes, the player will further come across adult themes, alcohol, as well as exit time and nudity. So so it is definitely a mature game. But yeah, actually, Kingdom Come Deliverance, I bought it because it looks amazing. I haven't had time to play it yet.
Oh dear.
But I promise you, I will play the first one before I ever buy the second one.
Oh, please do, because this isn't a Grand Theft Auto situation. They are directly linked. And how about you? What's number 3 on the list?
Well, so number 3 is The Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh.
There is some potential naysayers out there that say it may come out in 2025.
I'm sitting here on a 2027 release, guys.
You're probably not wrong.
Don't even play with me.
But I'm a huge fan of Elder Scrolls. I didn't actually get it. So a lot of people played like Morrowind and stuff like that. I didn't get into Elder Scrolls till Oblivion.
No.
I had low computer hardware for a long time, so I didn't play a lot of the higher end games. I played some Neverwinter Nights and stuff like that, which is a little bit on the aside there, but Oblivion was phenomenal. I mean, you had the Emperor voiced by Sir Patrick Stewart, and I big Star Trek nerd, so I was like, oh my god, I have to buy this game. But the open world, the combat, the Skyrim, the magic systems, really loved it. I did not get into Elder Scrolls Online because I just couldn't do it. Elder Scrolls for me is play with a friend, don't play with the world. If I could invite you to a game of Elder Scrolls, like if you and I could co-play Skyrim, which there is a mod.
There's a mod.
That would have been a great time if you could do that from the onset. So Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be the Creation Engine 2. So it's going to be really beautiful. It's probably mastered for 4K resolutions, high-end textures. I'm expecting a lot. I am expecting Skyrim 2.0. I'm expecting... One of the things with Skyrim that I didn't really like was there wasn't a huge amount of variation in the baddies.
Yeah, well, there were spiders, there were crabs, there were
skeletons, giants,
zombie skeletons,
bad guys.
Yeah, other people, and then the weird various elemental like the fire Atronach, the
Atronachs, yeah. But the thing I loved about Skyrim is the depth of the storytelling when you get into like Mehrunes Dagon.
Yeah.
And the Wabbajack. The Wabbajack is a staff that when you use it, random things happen. It's entirely chaotic. So
one of them turns everything around it into cheese.
Yeah, you can turn them into cheese. Sometimes it turns them into chickens. Nothing is better than going through a town and turning all the guards into chickens. It's a lot of fun. And I think my favorite storyline was the Wabbajack portion.
That was a really good storyline.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
he's the mad god.
He's the mad god, except he turns into the not mad god every once in a while. If you ever played the Shivering Isles expansion from
Oblivion, yeah, and so I mean, I still have I actually have somewhere laying around here my Septum I have a septum. I don't know where it's gone to.
You got it with the collector's edition or something like that.
Yeah, so I actually have some of the currency from in the game, which is kind of a cool collector's item. But so the Elder Scrolls 6, we don't really know where it's going to be yet. We have some basic information on it, but it's obviously going to be in the same world. It's going to be, you've got Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim. All of these are part of the same world. And actually in Skyrim, if you went to the edge of the map, you could actually see some of the mountains from Oblivion in the distance. Now, it wasn't fully fleshed out or added to the game, so you couldn't go there. You can go to Morrowind, that kind of thing. But I'm kind of really hoping that we get a giant game where you can get everywhere. People are saying that it might be set in Hammerfell, which is
that'd be interesting. It's been a while since we've been to Hammerfell. I want to say that was which Elder Scrolls was it? Daggerkeep?
Elder Scrolls 2?
Daggerfall, yeah. Elder Scrolls 2, Daggerfall.
Yeah, Daggerfall. Yeah, Hammerfell, High Rock in Daggerfall, Elder Scrolls 2. Yeah, and so there's been some teaser trailers. People are thinking it's Hammerfell. If you know the lore, good on you. If you don't know the lore, Hammerfell hasn't been a place we've been for a long time. It's this giant world, guys. It is this massive immersive storytelling world with continuation in the gods and the lore and a lot of the magic systems and combat systems have been kind of evolving over time as game after game after game. Someone did say they think the focus of the map is Skyrim with partial Hammerfall. So there's a lot of back and forth right now. But all I know is that Skyrim usually is extraordinarily beautiful, right? Starfield was a game that I've played. I think I'm like 200 hours into Starfield. That was from Bethesda as well. And so, now that Starfield is done, and we kind of are getting our DLC out of the way, now we can put all the dev teams back on Elder Scrolls 6, maybe? So I'm hopeful that we get an Elder Scrolls 6 game by the end of 2025. It's still probably not till 2027, but I wanted to talk about it because, damn, I love Elder Scrolls, Aaron, and I'm so excited for it, even though we have very limited information right now. I'm hoping that we can play different races. I'm hoping for a heck of a lot more armor and crafting and customization. In Skyrim, you could spend literally dozens of hours crafting armor and potions. You'd get the potions of smithing, and then the potion of smithing would help you craft better armor. And then you'd craft better armor, and then you get like the potion of enchantment, which helped you put better smithing on the armor. And then you get an enchantment for the armor that lets you get better potion making. And then you make
get
more
up to ludicrous numbers.
Yeah, like
just doing that loop.
I made a mage character that could basically infinitely blast the most powerful lightning spell at anything, like a Kamehameha, just zapping lightning out. But it took like 100 hours to build up the armor, build up the smithing, build up the alchemy skills. You have to slowly use the skills more and more and more to level them up and get more skill points. And so it's a hugely immersive game. Skyrim, I think, is probably one of the most streamed games in the RPG kind of front. I know between 2015 and today, Skyrim is still played heavily, modded heavily, textured heavily. So for me, Oblivion was like really great. Skyrim was like the best. And if we can get something that has more depth and more story and more storytelling in this Elder Scrolls 6, I am stoked, dude. I am stoked. So Elder Scrolls 6, Bethesda, get it out. Just get it out. Get it out. Get it out. All right. So that's it, man. The Elder Scrolls 6. Yeah, man.
I'm excited for it.
We're almost at an hour.
Oh wow, this is going.
I think we kind of have to like look at doing these episodes. Maybe we talk about the 5 games we're excited for, but we only delve into our top 3.
I think you're right.
But what are your other 2? What are your other 2?
Oh, well, these are the ones I was really excited about.
Let's get into them.
Okay, so Atom Fall is coming out in March. And it is going to be a action first-person game set in an alternate history. If you're big on like your 1950s to 1960s history, there was a massive nuclear accident in the UK called the Windscale Fire, where the nuclear plant itself went up in flames, and while the incident was eventually contained, it could have very easily gone the other way. We could have had a Chernobyl in the UK.
Wow.
So this game is set in the idea of like, what if, right? So it's set in the area called Lake District, which is where the power plant was in Cumbria, and it's going to be the developer cite New Vegas as being like a huge influence on them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting in terms of like just interconnected areas and then the exploration. And I love me a good nuclear Fallout game. That's why I still play Stalker.
Yeah, and it's cool because it's set in a very, very very wonderfully looking British countryside. So
right?
lots of
Beautiful.
hills and trees, and it looks really cool,
Yeah,
man.
and they're using sort of the Fallout atom punk, so like robots from like this Lost in Space series kind of idea, like that look. And it looks absolutely cool. It looks like it's going to be a really neat time. And there is a Wicker Man in some of the promo art. So what have the people stuck in this exclusion zone turned to?
Yeah, it looks kind of cool. Nuclear Fallout world. Dude, I think we're going to be playing a lot of RPGs in 2025.
I think 2025 is going to be the year of the RPG again for us, which
Oh my gosh.
I'm all excited for. And then I'll just quickly pound out my other one that I'm super stoked for, and it's called Judas, which is done by Ken Levine. And if you don't know anything about video games, you need to know Ken Levine is sort of the father of story-driven first-person shooters. He did System Shock. He did BioShock. He did. What else did he do? He did so much. He did Freedom Force. He did Tribes, Vengeance. He did. Oh god, he did so much.
Star Siege Tribes?
Huh?
Star Siege Tribes?
Tribes 4.
Oh, Tribes 4. Okay.
He did so much. Or sorry, Tribes Vengeance. My bad. He did so much. And this is his next game, Judas. And you're set on a starship, a generational starship, traveling to start a colony on Alpha Centauri. And your character is sort of the free agent, and there are three major factions. There's the Tom, who wants everyone to get to the planet as is.
Mhm.
There's his wife Nefertiti, who wants to turn everybody into perfect robots without flaws. And then there's Hope, their daughter, who just wants to burn it all down.
Wow.
And then you're sort of stuck there making you're the only one free to make choices in the paradigm. And it looks really cool. And granted, Ken Levine is a problematic developer. He's very crunch heavy.
So really hard on staff.
Well, yeah, he's hard on staff, but he works just the same like he's not on vacation while everyone's working. So it's one of those things where it's like he needs to recognize that not everyone works that way.
Yeah.
But damn, does he put out good stuff.
Yeah, there's got a lot of guys like Elon Musk where they're like, if you're not working 80 hours a week, you're not working hard enough. And it's like, oh my God.
Oh,
man,
yeah, but he
settle
also
down.
wants you working for free. So.
Yeah, right. Oh, and he's going to get his wish.
Right.
No, I mean, it looks great. The graphics look good. And one of the things I really am noticing is in the cutscenes or not just the cutscenes, but even in the live action scenes, when they're showing the other characters, facial expressions that include the ability for them to move their eyebrows, which is something that Bethesda did not do in a creation engine in Starfield.
Yeah.
Which was kind of a bummer. They really need to, immersion in games, you need to make me see the emotion, the pain, the happiness that the characters, that the NPCs are feeling. I think that, Skyrim had no emotion in the characters at all. There's, hey, welcome to Skyrim. And they had no emotion, no facial expressions.
Yeah,
and I think
yeah.
I think that, how long ago did the NVIDIA like hair physics come out. That was
God, right?
like 12 years ago.
I remember The Witcher 3. That was a big thing.
Oh, so good.
Geralt's flowing locks.
Oh yeah, it's so good. And so where's our NVIDIA emotion physics? Like I want the facial features, the real. I want the core emotions to be visible so that I get the true, feeling from it. When you're watching a movie, when you get the most emotion and the most immersion in the movie is when the characters are showing such an emotional scene that you yourself are overwhelmed with emotion. There's very few video games that have been able to do that for me. And so we need to really make those characters come to life. And I think that's the one thing that the creation engine doesn't do well. And Judas here seems to kind of have that figured out. I guess we'll see how it is in gameplay.
Yeah, well, Ken Levine is very much a anti cutscene developer.
I love it. That's great. I'm anti cutscene too. It should look just as good in the game.
Well, there's that, but he's also very much cutscenes are ways of saying to the player, you have no choice in this moment.
Yeah.
The choice has been made for you.
Yeah, like this is you are on rails now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ken Levine is very much he calls it narrative Lego.
Yeah.
So he has all these pre-assembled story beats that can be assembled on the fly.
Yeah.
So
I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Well, that's cool, man. BioShock is another game I've never played. It's been on my list for years. I just haven't gotten around to it. And I think it's because like I'm down to this list of amazing games that are all like hundreds of hours, like 50 to 100 hours time commitment to play and enjoy.
Well, as they say, a
Get
man
good.
chooses.
A man chooses. Yes, a married man chooses even more particularly. Yes.
Oh, no, you won't get that because you haven't played BioShock.
No,
One day you'll play BioShock and you'll know. You'll know what I meant.
I will. Cool. So Judas, that looks really cool, man.
Yeah.
The other two I wanted to talk about really quick were The Witcher 4.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's The Witcher.
Ciri is going to be the main character, which we kind of had the setup for in The Witcher 3.
We did.
So this kind of makes sense.
Depending on your ending, right? Like, did she become a Witcher? Did she become the new Empress? Like,
yeah, so I think regardless, you could spin it into, something happened and now she's this.
Yeah. Or she, while training to be the new Empress, because even her father, her bio dad, because Geralt's her real dad, even her bio dad took some time as an adventurer before becoming the emperor. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm The Witcher 3 is as much as I love Skyrim, and I have a special place in my heart for Skyrim because of the depth of the crafting system, character creation, your armor, how you could customize your character, and your build was so cool. Whereas The Witcher 3 was more like you just get equipment.
Yeah, and your mutations, your mutagens.
Yeah, there's a few things you could do, but like equipment customization wasn't really a big thing.
Heavily, no.
And I'm keen on that. So The Witcher 3, from a storytelling perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
That's where it wins.
So in depth, so good. And I played The Witcher 3 2 full playthroughs. The first playthrough just to kind of enjoy the game. The second playthrough to make sure I got every single Gwent card. Gwent is a game inside the game where you play.
God, I love Gwent.
God.
I lost too much time to Gwent.
Oh, dude, I love Gwent so much. So I got every Gwent card. I got every piece of armor, every piece of equipment. I tried to do a full completionist playthrough of The Witcher 3. And I got pretty far. I didn't hit 100%, but I got pretty close. And so The Witcher 3 is amazing, right? The storytelling's great. The world's great. There's so many different creatures and there's so much lore. The characters, you actually kind of care about the characters. You want to make good choices for the character or bad choices for the characters. So at the end of with The Witcher 3, Ciri is basically like superpowers. And she can open the voids to the hunt and all this stuff.
Yeah, because she's what, the navigator, the anchor, something like that.
She's the anchor or something, yeah. So The Witcher 4 is going to take on, as it says on thewitcher.com.
Canonically, she's gone to the world of cyberpunk.
That's fair.
And she's also the cause of in The Witcher 3, you know how there was that plague?
Yeah.
She's the cause of that.
Oh, geez.
Because she went into an alternate universe where the Black Plague.
Oh, right. I remember that. Because, that's part of the scenes in Witcher 3 where you're jumping between worlds.
And she brought it back.
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, this is from CD Projekt Red, which, Cyberpunk, I feel didn't quite hit for me.
Listen,
it was good.
I look at Cyberpunk like in the stage of 3. Stage 1 was the bad.
Yeah, on release, I got bored in 20 hours.
Yeah, stage 2, they fixed all of the problems, and stage 3, they've made the game. They actually made the game.
Yeah, I haven't finished it.
I'm so bad at this. I start it up, I start playing, I get past the first, like, I'll spend hours playing with my character doing all this nonsense, and then I'll do the I'm really bad for, I have to complete all the side missions before I do the main mission.
Yeah.
Have to. So once I can no longer do side missions, then I'll do the main mission storyline.
Yeah.
So I've done all of this side missions and all of that. So I have a very high level character. I get into the first main mission where, spoiler alert, you start dying because you've now got Johnny Silverhand in your head.
Yeah.
And I just, bam, right there, that always disconnects me from the game because all of my agency is gone now. I am dying. There is no way to stop that.
Yeah.
Which is too bad, because it is a gorgeous game. It's well written. There's some beautiful character work, and it's just my personal hang up there.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. I didn't enjoy it because I didn't enjoy it as much as I could have because the world felt so empty.
Oh, that's very different now.
Yeah, and I think that's the challenge is they had to get the game out. But anyway, now they're focusing on The Witcher 4. So I feel like they have more.
Isn't there one more DLC for Cyberpunk coming?
There may be. Yeah, I'm kind of done with Cyberpunk. I might go back to it if I'm really bored someday. I'll probably go back to it on my next computer upgrade because even on the 3090 with ray tracing on, I wasn't happy with the performance at high gaming resolutions. So that really kills it for me. So I was going to talk about Star Citizen, but it looks like they bumped that to 2026 release. It was originally supposed to be released October 2023.
So we're not going to get more information on Storefront Citizen?
I can tell you that Squadron 42 is nearing completion. It is almost a complete single-player campaign.
I'll believe it when I see it.
And I think it's close. Yeah. But I will say this, PSA, please stop giving your money to them. At like Chris Roberts, I guess is his name, isn't it? What's his name? Robert Space Industry, Chris Roberts. Stop giving your name to Chris. Stop giving your money to Chris. He doesn't need it. He's got so much money, and at this point, he's just buying more yachts. I don't think he's actually motivated to get this game finished.
In forever. Yeah,
no, he hasn't been in the office in years. I'm sure of it. I don't think he's motivated to complete Star Citizen. So I'm the eternal skeptic. I have not spent a ton of money on Star Citizen. Probably about $250 Canadian.
What really bothers me is Freelancer was so good.
Freelancer was so good. I really appreciated. Oh my gosh, why can't I remember the name now? The original games that he made. 1, 2, and 3.
Chris Roberts?
Yeah. Geez, it's literally why he makes space games. Why can't I remember the name?
Privateer. Wing Commander, sorry.
Wing Commander, yeah. So Wing Commander, I played all the Wing Commander games, man. I loved Wing Commander. Wing Commander was kind of the reason why I was so happy that Star Citizen was going to be a thing.
Didn't they make a Wing Commander movie?
I don't know. But they made a free Wing Commander game that they released in episodes. It was episodic. And the graphics were really cool. This was back in like maybe late 90s, early 2000s. Oh, God.
Freddie Prinze Jr., Matthew Lillard.
All right, we're going to go watch Wing Commander.
Oh, yeah, in 1999, science fiction film loosely based on the video game series.
Right? So instead of getting in depth with Star Citizen, because, Squadron 42 is still delayed, which I guess is predictable, I want to talk about 2 Point Museum.
Yay! I love the 2 Point series.
I was a big fan of Theme Hospital back in the day.
Yeah.
And those kind of goofy, humorous games where like you came into the hospital with an inflated head and they had to like pop it like a balloon and then pump it back up to normal size. And so 2 Point Hospital I actually bought, and it was kind of fun. I enjoyed it. It really brought me back to those Bullfrog Entertainment days with Theme Hospital. But 2 Point Museum is coming out March 4th, 2025. And it's basically like a pretty chill game where you can just build a museum. So similar to 2 Point Hospital, which probably had more opportunity for humor. You would build your own hospital. You had to staff it. You had to get physicians. I'm hoping that 2 Point Museum kind of has like a night at the museum kind of thing where like things come alive and yada yada. But I love the 2 Point games. It's from 2 Point Studios. The publisher's Sega, which is interesting.
Yeah. Sega's really become a strong publishing house now, which is good to see. I'm glad Sega's still in the world, you know?
Yeah. But I love these games. I love the Roller Coaster Tycoon games, any of the Tycoon games, the Theme Hospital games, anything from Bullfrog Entertainment, anything from Sid Meier, I should say.
Yeah.
Like Sid Meier's Pirates and Sid Meier's Civilization we talked about earlier. So I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna buy this game just because it's a fun little game. It's kind of atmospheric. You just play it at your own pace, and it's an economy management. So you have to staff and bring in exhibits to make people.
And they're always wild, crazy exhibits.
And just like all museums, you too can build a gift shop at the exit just to ensure people have to go. Oh, you're forcing me to spend money again. But yeah, I don't know. 2 Point Museum, check it out. It basically says, curate and manage incredible museums, explore to discover amazing artifacts. So it looks like there's some send people on exploration missions to find, the crypt of Tutankhamun or something like that.
Yeah.
Design and refine the layout, keep staff happy, keep guests entertained, and donations plentiful. Also, please keep children off the exhibits. And it's really funny. I can just see them being like, please keep your children off the exhibits.
Yeah, in that exact tone of voice, too. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's going to be exactly that. So, 2 Point Museum, coming out in March. If you've ever played any of the theme games or any of the tycoon games where you do a little bit of economy management, you bring in, people come in to pay for their tickets, and you have to keep them in and make them spend money.
Yep.
Just check it out, man. 2 Point Museum. It's going to be fun. It's a game that's going on my wish list.
I actually have a 2 Point Hospital.
Yeah, I have 2 Point Hospital as well. And I've played it for, let's see, how long have you played 2 Point Hospital?
I'll pull up my GOG account and tell you in a second.
2 Point Hospital is a 2018 game. I've played for 22.4 hours.
You got me beat. I have 19.8.
Oh, boy. I remember I finished the game. Like, I kind of achieved everything within the 22.4 hours. And it's a sweet, quaint little game. There's a ton of DLC for it that I don't have yet. Let's see. They got a Stitch in Time. Oh, okay.
We're getting off track.
Yeah. But anyway, 2 Point Museum, man. Check it out. Watch the Steam. Go to the Steam page. Check out the store page. Watch some of the preview videos. If it's up your alley, give it a shot. Anything's got to be better than the Jurassic World park management game, because that game was absolutely horrendous to play.
On that note, there's one Jurassic Park game that I will always get a kick out of called Trespasser.
Oh yeah.
And they were really shooting for the stars on that one. They introduced a lot of systems now that we have in day to day. Like they didn't have an ammo count. The HUD was pretty much empty. So you had to check your gun. You had left and right arms and your health. And this is where Trespasser gets the most sort of press. So there was no health bar, but your character was a woman.
Okay.
Right? So your health bar was a heart tattoo on your left breast.
Oh, okay.
And you could look down at your booba, and you would see your heart.
The heart tattoo changes the more damage.
And yeah, so it would either be full or
That's just I mean, and it's goofy little things like that games do, And this is why we love gaming, guys. There's so many different games out there, so many different studios, so many different creative things that can come out. Out of your 5, which is your most anticipated?
It's gotta be Judas.
Judas, I like it.
It's gotta be Judas, and I'm just gonna share this screenshot with you so you can see the heart.
I gotta say, my heart tells me that Elder Scrolls 6 is where my heart lies. But because that may get delayed to 2026, I've got to say my top pick for most anticipated game for 2025 is going to be Fable 4 for right now.
Fable 4.
Fable 4.
You know what? I have more hours than I should be proud of in Fable 3.
Yeah.
So like Fable 4 sounds like, I sent it to you on the Discord if you want to check it out.
Yeah, I'll check out.
But yeah, that was your health HUD.
Here's my live reaction to the health HUD, everybody. Let's see.
That's in our admin
chat. Oh my.
Right.
Wow.
That was your health HUD.
That's goofy.
It was so stupid.
That's goofy. Slightly better than Tomb Raider.
I mean, not
by much.
really.
Not by much. But that's a silly place to put a health bar.
Yeah, well, and the designers were trying to get rid of HUDs entirely.
Yeah. The heads-up display kind of does ruin immersion a little bit, doesn't it?
UIs, I should say.
And that's the cool thing with, I mentioned I've been playing Into the Radius. Your health bar is on your watch.
Yeah,
so you have to look at your watch.
Much better than that too.
Yes, I agree. Well, those are our top anticipated games for at least at this stage of 2025.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on another fun Loading the Catapult. And, thanks for sticking with us, guys. We're refining the format as we go along, and I think we've learned some valuable lessons today, and I hope you guys, hop on our Discord, give us some feedback, let us know what's up.
Yeah, I think we'll limit these to top 3 next time.
Top 3?
Just to keep it under that hour mark.
Maybe we'll do top 5, and we'll just deep dive into 2 or 3.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're working on it. Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
We really do. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Have a good one.
Good luck.
Have fun.
Don't die.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum. We're such nerds.
We have fun, though.
Nerds know how to have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's our time, and the end of our episode.
But don't feel sad it's over. Be glad it happened. From the 2 of us in the basement, thanks for tuning in.
Join us next time.
And feel free to send us any feedback on our socials or send us a direct email at bfcpcontact@gmail.com.
And if you're really interested in what we're doing, join us on Patreon, where we will have loads of behind-the-scenes stuff and uncut takes as more episodes are released. Patreon.com/basements, faults, and catapults.
We're always excited to hear from you because we love engagement. We look forward to our next Catapult launch and hope you can join us for the ensuing chaos.
Good luck.
See you next time.
Oh, it's gonna be a major issue, especially because the fact that right now, when the boomers are all gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
There will be no population to replace that, right? Because you and I, no, not you and I, a little bit you're like a weird microgen. Because there's Gen X, and they're next on the block, right? But Gen X is a lot smaller than the boomer.
Technically, I'm right in between Gen X and Millennial.
Yeah, you're a microgen.
I'm stuck in between 2 worlds.
You're a millenniexer.
I don't like avocado toast, but I can appreciate it. But at the same time, I blame myself for all the financial problems. It's kind of like...
You're all over the place.
I look at myself and I go, kids these days like me don't work hard like we used to. And it's kind of like... It's like living in a constant state of schizophrenia, Aaron.